This airport officer was handed a passport from a country that doesn't exist. When a strange man approached the airport officer and spoke in an unfamiliar language, he wasn't too sure how to respond. So the officer called over his manager, but they were both unaware of the terrifying reality that would soon unfold. Together, the officer and his manager brought the man to the questioning room to obtain some form of identification from him. After numerous failed attempts to communicate with the man, the officer took out his driver's license and gestured toward it, hoping he would grasp the meaning. The strange man then handed over his passport, which seemed legit at first, but everything changed when he took a closer look. The officer noticed that his passport said he was from a country named Agartha. He didn't know what to make of it. Eventually, he called in a foreign affairs agent from the FBI, and that's when things started to get serious. The mysterious man quickly handed over some foreign currency and some photos from an unknown land. Baffled, the foreign affairs agent had no idea what to do. He handed a map to the man and asked him to show where he was from. The man studied the map for just a moment before adamantly pointing to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The foreign affairs agent appeared confused, but after making some phone calls, he confiscated the man's bag, then placed him in handcuffs and sent him to be transported to a nearby jail cell. The agent then began unpacking the bag and found more items from this unfamiliar land, such as postcards, a laptop with an unknown brand, and some additional photographs. The photos were of some unidentified land taken from some large tower. The city was decimated, with bodies scattered everywhere. The photographer appeared to be the sole survivor in the area. There were about 20 photos, all consistently showing the progression from one location to the next, ultimately leading to an obscure house within the city. Finally, he reached the last photo. It was a picture of a man looking at the camera with his hands hopelessly chained to a wall. After seeing this, the officers quickly rushed to the jail cell for questioning, but upon arrival, they were informed that the man had never arrived. They quickly instructed the police station to use GPS to locate the other patrol car meant to deliver him, but the car's locator was no longer functioning. For about 13 minutes, there had been no signal emission, and the whereabouts of the officers remained unknown. While the airport officer was seated at his desk, repeatedly scrolling through the same photographs, he noticed something that he hadn't before. In the background of one of the images, obscured by the ruins of the city, was a faint, shadowy figure. It was barely noticeable, like a faint whisper, but it gave him chills. He zoomed in on the photograph, trying to make out the details, but that's when he saw it. The figure appeared to be tall, cloaked in darkness, with elongated limbs that seemed to stretch unnaturally. Its glowing eyes fixated on him through the photo. His heart raced as he continued to examine the other photos, and to his horror, he found out that the shadowy figure appeared in each and every one, always lurking in the background, watching and waiting. Terrified, he brought the findings to his manager, who also shared his sense of unease. They then showed the photographs to the remaining officers and detectives who had worked on the case, and the sense of dread started to fill the room. Who was this shadowy figure appearing in these photos? What do these images depict, and what brings this man to our world? As they delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered even more disturbing information. The man's passport, which seemed so legitimate at first glance, was now revealed to be filled with strange, indecipherable symbols that defied any attempts at translation. The unidentified currency, upon closer inspection, appeared to be made of some material unlike any known on Earth, emitting a weird, eerie, faint glow when exposed to light. Upon examining the strange man's laptop, whose brand was unrecognizable, they discovered a collection of encrypted files with mysterious messages and diagrams that were incomprehensible to them. The sense of fear and confusion only grew stronger with each passing moment. It became clear that they were dealing with something far beyond their comprehension. And then, that evening, while an officer was alone, studying the photographs once again, the lights flickered and an eerie silence fell. He could feel an invisible presence in the room, and when he turned around, there it was, the shadowy figure from the photographs. His heart pounded in his chest as the figure slowly advanced towards him, its eyes glowing and fixated on him. He attempted to reach for his phone and call for help, but it slipped from his trembling hands and crashed to the floor, just as the shadowy figure was about to reach him. The lights flickered back on, and it vanished into thin air. His manager and the other officers rushed in, responding to the commotion, but they found no trace of the shadowy entity.